Ribber School, Part 2.
Okay, here's what we did so far. Full needle rib, knit 1, purl 1, 2x2, and the really bad 2x2. And then we have our wide rib.
English rib and swung English rib.
Now on our list is the English rib. To do English rib, we set 1x1 ribbing, 0, 0 on our carriages, and knit across, and then we do a foundation row with tension on the ribber of tension 2. Okay, same base cast on. You can see how everybody knit this time. All I did was shift my dead sponge bar 1/4 of an inch. That's how I know it's my sponge bar. 2 small weights. Change the settings on the carriages. Okay, so main bed goes to C. We do not change the tension, it's still at 0. On the ribber we go tension 2 and 0. So we're not knitting on the ribber going to that direction, which is left. Let's see, any other thing of importance? So let's back up and see what we got. Here we go for our foundation rows. One, 2, 3. All right, now we go to E for English rib. Okay, so that is now set for E. This now goes down to 1. Oh, you can't see. Okay, so we have moved the carriage from C up to E for English rib. We are also going to tension 4, 4. And now we're going to knit across. Here we go. Did you see that? Let me zoom in. So what this setting does is it just lays the yarn onto the needles on the main bed and then knits them off going to the right. It's pretty cool. I'm going to knit another 10 rows, and then we're going to do swung English rib without taking the work off the machine to show it to you. So what is the huge difference between English rib and swung English rib? Well, that's using your racking handle. We're going to rack every 2 rows from 5 to 7, and then 7 to 5. So right now we have our normal English rib. We just finished our 2 rows. I'm now going to rack it to 7. So here's 6, 7. We're going to knit 2 rows and then rack it again. Racking it to 5. Knitting 2 rows. It gets kind of mad. Racking it to 7, knitting 2 rows. Racking it back to 5, knitting 2 rows. back to 7, knitting 2 rows. Okay, I'll do a couple more of these and then we'll take it off and you can take a look. Okay, we're going to take it off. And now you can see regular English, swung English. Regular English, swung English. When we're all done these samples, I'll take it off and you can see what happens when it relaxes.
Variation of English rib.
Now we're going to do variation English rib, which includes a very, very, very special way of organizing how you set the ribber. So it says that the middle 2, where 0, 0 is, has to be down. And then we do 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down. Down, 1 up, 1 down. So we have 4. And then we do 2 down. And then we do 4 up. In 1 by 1. 2 down. 4 up. 2 down. 1, 2, 4 up. The main bed is in 1 up, 1 down. And we are in half pitch. So half pitch on 5. Okay, that half pitch is very important. So we have to make sure that we are 1 by 1 on the top. That doesn't change. Okay, now we set up. So 2, 2 down, 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for the variation English rib, we have to make sure that our end needles are on the ribber, not on the main bed. And again, we are in half pitch. This is our startup row. Our carriages are at 0, 0. And now we cast on. Okay, you can see how we have our little spaces. Once we put the ribber comb on, it'll all come clear. Same amount of weight, 2 small ones. Okay, just like the other English rib, we're going to do a special tension. Okay, so C for circular, tension 2 only on the ribber, 0 on the ribber for our foundation rows, and then we'll go to tension 4, 4, and English rib. So here's our foundation rows. Okay, now we're going to switch our carriage settings. Four, 4, English, 1, 1. We are now going to knit 2 rows at pitch 5. And then 2 rows at pitch 6, 8 times. So we'll have a total of 16 rows. I'm going to set my row counter to 0, 0, 0. And when we get to row count 16, we're going to go pitch 7 and pitch 6. Here goes nothing. Still in half pitch. That doesn't change. Okay, so 2 and 5. We're at 4, 4, yeah. So 1, 2, and then we go 6, 1, 2, 5, 6. 1, 2, 5, 6, 5, 6. Okay, so now we're going to go to pitch 7. So 1 further. And now we're going to repeat. So I will reset my row counter. And now we'll do 2 rows. Pitch 6. Pitch 7. Pitch 6. Pitch 7. Pitch 6. Pitch 7. Pitch 6. Okay, that's another 16. Reset our row counter to 0, 0, 0. And now we will do pitch 5 for 2 rows. Pitch 6. Pitch 5. Pitch 6. 5. 6. 5. 6. All right. Now I'm just going to do some normal rows, and then we'll take it off. You'll see what we get. Here we go. Doesn't look like much on this side, but when we go to this side, you can see how it skips across and then goes normal. Once this relaxes, you'll see a big difference.
Double English rib.
Next on our list is double English rib. We set that up with 1 by 1 for our foundation rows, and then we get to use the U setting on our ribber. Okay, so there's no difference, just 1 by 1. Not in half pitch, just normal pitch. Make sure we're on 5. Now we're on 5, so our zeros match up. Everybody's knit off. Okay, so our settings are circular, tension 2 on the ribber, 0 for our foundation rows, and then we'll do the U here. Oh, I guess you can't see that. We'll be switching the ribber to U, and then 1 and tension 3. And we'll also be using tension 3 on the main bed. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, tension 3, tension 3, E. Oh, can't see what I'm doing. Okay, now we get to use the U setting. And doesn't look like anything else is special. Oh. Okay, I don't put this into 1. I only leave it in 0. Okay, so now we're going to knit 3 rows, and we'll see what happens. Okay, here goes. So 1, 2. Oh, nothing's dropping. We'll do another 10 rows. Oops! I got a loop. Well, I accidentally dropped half of my work. It happens, but I'm not going to reknit it. So this is English rib on both sides. It's actually quite beautiful, even with the mistakes.
Herringbone swing.
I'm going to set up for herringbone, which is a full needle rib with some transfers. Half pitch. Make sure that you have the, on the left hand side on the main bed, right hand side on the ribber. Okay, good. Load our yarn and then put in our wonderful ribber comb. Make sure that you do not have your ribber in U, that you have it in arrow. Tension 0. Tension 0. And in setting O. You don't want to keep doing the previous sample. Again, we are set up for full needle rib. Make sure that's there. Putting on my ribber comb. And then we're going to do the foundation rows. Again, tension 2 on the ribber. And then we will set up for the herringbone. Okay, so we go to C, tension 2, 0. We still have tension 0 on our main bed. Going to do our foundation rows and then we'll come back. All right, our first move, make sure we got tension 2 and tension 2. We need to move from C to E. So one click. And we will be knitting on the ribber again, going both directions. The other big change is how we set up. The instructions for this are kind of convoluted, but it says that you want to take stitches 9 and 10 and move them to the left and right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 9 transfers onto 8. And 10 transfers onto 1. And then those will go out of work. So I'll do this entire ribber bed, and then I will do the setup for the main bed. Okay, the ribber is done. Now for the main bed, we will switch the ones that are in line. So we rack it on 6, then it'll be this one and this one. Now these stitches are pretty tight, and you want to make sure that if you did rack it, that you rack it back. Otherwise, you're going to have a very bad day. Make sure when you're done transferring the stitches that you move them into the non-working position. I'll come back when this is all done. Here's what it looks like. Okay. Now I'm going to move my camera out of the way, and we're going to start doing the knitting that we need to do. This is yet another knitting technique where we have to use our racking handle. We're going to knit to the right at racking 5, to the left at racking 6, 20 times, and then we will do racking 6 going to the right and racking 5 going to the left 20 times. So here we go. I'm on racking 5, I'm on E, tension 2 and 2, 1 and 1. Here we go. What is caught here? First row's a little hard. Then we go racking 6. A little hard. Back to 5. Should start to get easier. 6. Back to 5. Back to 6. Back to 5. Back to 6. Okay, I'll come back when I've done 20 rows. Okay, that is 20 rows. We will now rack it to 6. Well, actually, we're going to leave it at 6. Knit across and then go down to 5. You can see how much happier it is. Now go back down to 5. 6. Okay, I'll come back when I have 20. And this is row 40. Okay, I have a little loop again. Make sure that doesn't interfere. Now I'm going to knit a couple rows and then take it off. Okay, so here we go. It goes one direction and then it goes the other direction in the swing. It's a very stable fabric and it's great for baby blankets and skirts and stuff. There's a variation on this one where you leave all but these out of work. And I'll do that one next. Okay, so we have the same setup where it's full needle rib. Put in your yarn, go across, and then I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, gonna put in my ribber comb after dropping all my stuff. Make sure I'm at 0. Not there yet. Okay, close enough to 0. That one as usual. There we go. Okay. So what's the big difference on this one? Well, we're still going to put our main carriage into C for our foundation rows. We're still going to put the ribber into O, going to the left. But in this case, our ribber is in tension 4, and our main bed goes into tension 2 for the foundation rows. After we're done the foundation rows, then we're going to make a couple of changes. Foundation rows are done. Now we're going to change our main tension all the way to 6, and we're going to go back down to 0. So this is not an English rib or swung or anything fancy dancy here. We are going to put this back into 0, and now we're going to do a whole bunch of transfers. We're going to start on the left hand side, and we are going to transfer up. So I'm going to go back into pitch, and I'm going to transfer up all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 7 up. And then we do number 8 stays. Number 9 goes up. Number 10 stays, and then we do another 7. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll come back when this is all done. Okay, so now I'm going to put it back into half pitch so that I line up with the gate peg, not another stitch. You don't want to line up with a stitch. That ends poorly. Now I'm going to do, I'm going to walk it using the racking handle. So right now we're in half pitch. Racking number is 5. I'm going to knit across and then go to 4, knit to the right again on 3, to the left on 2, 1, 0. So let's start. So we start with racking 5. Sorry. Pretty scary. Go to 4. 3, 2, 1, 0. Walk it back. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't want to go any further than 8 on this one. So back to 7. Okay, I'm now just going to do several rows and then take it off. Okay, so here's how beautiful it is. The only thing I don't understand are these edge ones. As far as I'm concerned, transfer them back over and don't do the very edge.
Tubular knitting.
Kind of looks like tubular knitting is kind of an afterthought in this manual because it's at the very end and it should really be right after the ribbing is done, like the knit one, purl one. I kind of touched on this when I did the sock video, but we do a full needle rib cast on using waste yarn, and then you switch to your main yarn. So I'm going to use my favorite waste yarn to do the cast on, and then I'll knit a couple rows and we'll go from there. So everything is ready. Knit the usual. I'll put in my comb and then we'll do our setup. So you can see our setup. Ribber's got the last stitch and main bed's got the first stitch. Again, we're still in half pitch 5 for the main. We are now going to go tension 8 on the ribber, tension 6 on the main. Ribber goes to 0 and we go into circular. Yeah, that's how difficult it is. After we do our initial rows, no, actually right now we can put it right into pitch. So we are into pitch. It doesn't look like I have my weights in the right spot. Okay, making sure my cast on comb is down, and now we just knit. So here goes. Okay. I have almost no tension on this again. It's not happy. I don't know why. Okay. 1, 2. That was a little scary. I'm going to add extra weight to mine. Okay, that's my waste yarn. And now I will add my working yarn. Okay, so now we use our working yarn. 1, 2, 3. And there we have a tube. You know, like a sock. So here's our tube. Waste yarn, working yarn.
This brings us to the end of the variation stitches. Next up, we add the mylars.